Hey folks, welcome back to another video. This is another in my series of videos on the Geranium series, the 2D Twisty puzzles from VeryPuzzle. The puzzle in front of you now is one of my favorite puzzles in the series, and possibly one of the favorite puzzles in my whole collection, actually, and that's the Geranium butterfly. So let's take a look at this masterpiece here. It's going to be a little bit difficult to keep this in frame, but I'll do what I can. So as you can see, this thing is ginormous. It's just huge. The acrylic cover and baseboard here are shaped like a butterfly, hence the name. We've got cute little antennae up there. They placed a couple of screws to look like eyeballs, I guess. And even the sticker pattern is kind of reminiscent of a butterfly in that they've given this sort of pink line here, shaped like a thorax maybe, or the body of a butterfly. It's a really great idea for a design. I just think it looks fantastic. And it's also an unusual choice of shape for a puzzle like this. You know, we have 6 circles, but they're going in this kind of arc here. And so we're all dealing with shallow cuts here, right? All the circles have a relatively small area of intersection, kind of like the Geranium V in the first video in the Geranium series. But once again, the butterfly holds a secret for us, and we can use a hidden circle to make deeper turns and create more scrambling. However, before that, I want to have a sort of audience participation moment here. So if you can, pause the video for a second, go to verypuzzle.com, click on the 2D Twisty Puzzles heading on the menu on the left, and click on the new Geranium series, and look at the pictures of the Geranium butterfly on that page. And then come back and look at this in my video and tell me if you notice anything weird. All right, so go ahead and do that for a second. All right, you back? Did you notice what the difference is? Yeah, so the Geranium is supposed to have these 2 purple circles in the upper left and upper right, the red here, the yellow here, and the green here, but it is not supposed to have a 3rd purple circle on the bottom left. That's supposed to be a light blue. I didn't realize that at first, and I got this puzzle and thought, wow, so there's 3 differently colored circles and these pink bits, and then 3 purple ones. This is going to create some potential for false equivocation, maybe some parity concerns. That's interesting. But then something was bugging me in the back of my mind. And eventually I went back to the webpage and looked at it and realized that they'd misstickered mine. So I contacted VeryPuzzle, and typically with their good customer service, they said, of course, that's our mistake. And they sent me these replacement stickers, which I can use for that face. I've not taken the time to open it up and do that yet. And in fact, when I've been thinking about it, I thought maybe it'd be interesting to try and solve the puzzle with 3 purple faces. I don't know for sure whether that'd be easier or more difficult. It's hard to say. I don't know enough about these kind of puzzles to have a definitive statement on that, but it might be worth trying. But in any case, I've got the ingredients here to get it back into its proper form if I give that a try. So that was a weird occurrence. I think, the person who contacted me from VeryPuzzle seemed very surprised. So I would guess that this is an uncommon mistake to have happened. But anyway, so there's a certain unique element to my Geranium that I got. I kind of like that there's a bit of a story to it. But yeah, I'll show off the turning first of all before we get into the hidden circles and stuff. You can see this one turns really, really well. It's a little bit loose. So, when you have to make sure it's well aligned or things can get a bit stuck because pieces will slide around. You can see them sliding quite a bit. But it just feels really nice to turn. All the faces are smooth all throughout the puzzle. So to me, the looseness is just about right. Maybe it could be a little bit tighter fit between the pieces, but I think this is really, really playable. Yeah, I mean, it's just very pleasant to use. And it's also still got enough friction that the circles don't slide around on their own and mess you up. So that's a positive as well. Now the big question is, can I remember how to do the to make the hidden circle appear? Let's see. I think what should happen is I need to have a chunk of this circle appearing over there somewhere. And this pink bit ends up over here. I remember that much. But how is that going to go? Well, I think let's try the left side first. If I move the pink bit over, like so, I guess. Yeah, we have the start of a circle here. That seems positive. I can rotate this until I get something that matches it. There we go. Okay, that's promising. Or should it be... Ooh, I guess it could be either of those. Oh no, it should be this one. Yeah, there we go. So we've got the start of a circle here. So now what happens if I keep rotating this until I get more of the hidden circle like that, and then bring this up. Ooh. Does that work? I think that works, doesn't it? Yes. Beautiful. And because this puzzle is less tight than the Geranium V, I can very easily spin this around. There's just enough room here in this notch that I can grab this hidden circle and turn it quite easily. Yeah, so look at that. Got a nice hidden circle here. And just like on the Geranium V, that hidden circle lets us scramble things up more and add some difficulty and additional intricacy to the puzzle. As far as I'm aware, there's only this one hidden circle that can appear on the butterfly. I only discovered this by looking at some discussion on the puzzle on the Chinese language MF8 puzzle forum. And there's a couple people that received samples of the Geranium butterfly from VeryPuzzle and worked out how to solve it, which is quite impressive to me because the solution looks very complicated. And actually, in one of the posts, the guy says that the puzzle looks very innocent, but actually is one of the more difficult of the Geranium series. So that's quite fascinating. And it creates an interesting mixture here. We've got this, the deepest possible cut, in a sense, in that the entire circle, the hidden circle, is within the puzzle itself, and cuts across a big chunk of these bottom two circles and a bit of these two at the upper center here. But also we have shallow cuts around the rest of the puzzle. So in general, there's a lot to like about this puzzle. I mean, it looks great. We've got the additional element of the hidden circle, which of course will be important in the scramble and solve. We've got some interesting stickering choices, although mine are not representative in that respect. And the function of the puzzle itself is just great. I really can't complain at all. I've had no issues with the stickers. I've played with this one quite a bit of an evening. I haven't been brave enough to scramble it, of course, but I've turned it quite a lot and tried to understand how it works. And it's just a pleasure to play with. So I can highly recommend this puzzle without any reservations. If you're interested in trying a 2D puzzle, there's a lot to recommend about this one. Plus, it's a real standout on your shelf, of course, with this very unique look. So that's the butterfly. Now, let's see if I can get back to normal business here. So I'll bring this purple back and bring the pink back down. And then rotate the pink back into the center. And there we go. Look at that. Perfect. So if any of you out there happen to know much about this puzzle and have an opinion on whether I should scramble and solve this with 3 erroneous purple faces or I should just re-sticker it before I even start, let me know why you think that in either direction. I'm very curious to know if there'd be any complexities introduced by having 3 purple faces, or whether it would make the puzzle too easy because there'd be too many options to solve. My intuition is that these puzzles have so much challenge to them that it wouldn't significantly reduce the difficulty to have more purple pieces. But then again, what do I know? So if you've frequented the Chinese forums or you know somebody who solved the puzzle and you have an opinion, do let me know, because I'm really fascinated to hear about what people would recommend. So that's the butterfly. And before I go here, I'm going to show you another of the more unusual side of the Geranium line of puzzles, and that is the Geranium Olympic. Or I guess the sticker on the back here says Olympic Geranium. I don't know. So this is a long and skinny kind of puzzle, and the name gives you a pretty strong hint about what it's going to look like. Let's see. And there it is. So we have the Olympic rings in 2D Twisty puzzle form. How about that? Again, a really, really nice looking puzzle. The stickers are all matte in the Geranium line, and I think they work quite well for these for reasons I've said before. but also the shades are quite nice. In particular, the blue, this kind of soft sky blue, is really nice. The white pops really well. And I do like that if you look closely here at the black circle, it's actually black stickers. It's not just the black plastic. And I like that because if it was just shiny, unstickered black plastic, it would stand out, I think, from the matte finish of the other faces, and it wouldn't look as nice. So I like that attention to detail. I think that's really good. Okay, so the Geranium Olympic, we're back now to having the bandaging pieces in this puzzle. You can see we have those long, oddly shaped stems, like in the original Geranium, and these longer, bendy stems here. So they will certainly introduce some bandaging into the puzzle. We have the same other piece types that we're used to from the Geraniums. We have the squashed pentagons, the big bulbous pentagons, lots of small triangles as well. I believe that since this puzzle is shallow cut throughout and there's no opportunities for hidden circles to appear, because there's no areas where more than two circles, well, I guess there's two circles intersecting here, but they're not deep enough, and there's not enough circles around to create an additional turning axis. So I think this puzzle will scramble less than, for example, the regular deep cut Geranium, or something like the butterfly or the Geranium V that have these hidden deep cuts along with the shallow cuts. So I know that there is a version of the Geranium called the Mini, which just has two intersecting circles, and it has these bandaging pieces, and it's a shallow cut one, and that one is known to not scramble very much, and I think this will be more along that kind of line. Yeah, I can't say for sure. Again, there is some discussion of this puzzle on the MF8 forum in Chinese. So what I've gleaned about this puzzle from there, I'm getting mainly through Google Translate and hoping that it's not too inaccurate. Google Translate seems to do okay with Chinese compared to, say, Japanese or some other languages. So I think I get a pretty decent idea of what's being said, but who knows. In any case, I think this can be viewed as kind of an extended version of those smaller Geraniums where they don't get completely fully scrambled. Some pieces in each circle will not be dislodged. They'll just stay there and kind of get in the way. So there'll be some bandaging elements to deal with. But I think it'll be an interesting solve. And actually, I wonder if it might be a good place to start my Geranium journey now that I think about it. I hadn't really considered that before, but if it scrambles a bit less, it's shallow cut. Maybe this would be a good way to get familiarized with the series. And just like the butterfly, the turning on this one is really, really nice. It's got that looser feel from the butterfly. Every face turns equally well. Really feels good to turn. There's a little bit more friction actually on this red one, but not enough to cause a problem. And in general, it's a good looking puzzle as well. It's a clever idea to leverage the look of the Olympic rings for this. Like I said, they paid attention to the details with the black stickers and so forth. And it's a really nice looking puzzle. I think this costs about $28 if you buy it from VeryPuzzle's website. So a pretty affordable entry into the series. The very small Geraniums like the Mini and the Pocket are no longer available. I think they were very popular, and they're all out of stock at this point. But hopefully they'll come back into vogue at some point. But yeah, I think now that I'm looking at this and playing with it a bit again, maybe this would be a good first solve to do in the Geranium series, just to get accustomed to, working with these multiple interconnected circles, with just shallow cuts and not, lots of hidden secrets and hidden circles and crazy deep cuts to deal with. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting into the Geraniums, this is probably one of the more kind of user-friendly places to start, I would say. And yeah, you can still find this freely available on the VeryPuzzle website. So that was a look at two more of the 2D Geranium series of Twisty puzzles. I hope that helped you understand a little bit more what these puzzles are about. Yeah, I mean, in particular, I think the butterfly is a really attractive option if you just want one of these for the collection. It really has some standout elements with hidden circles, the interesting design, and so forth. But if you're looking for a more gentle introduction to the series, then the Olympic would probably be a good place to start. I would say just buy as many of them as you can, because these kind of really high quality 2D circle puzzles are not that commonplace in the Twisty puzzle market. And from what I understand from speaking to VeryPuzzle via their customer support email, it'll be a while before they reprint these when they go out of stock. So if you see one that looks appealing to you, just grab it, because you don't want to have to wait a year or two or even more potentially before they come back. So in my next video, I'm going to show you the biggest and most impressive puzzles in the Geranium line: the Super Geranium, the Super Geranium Plus, and the Geranium W. And I'm sure you'll agree when you see them. They are very intimidating, but also really, really impressive. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.